Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now the very end of May of 2023, and as we get closer to the month of June, a lot of fans are really getting hyped up for the Ahsoka series, given that this is, yes, the first Star Wars TV show and/or project under Disney's wing, where Kathleen Kennedy had no involvement on a creative scale. It was all Dave Filoni with the help of FAVREAU, as well as Timothy Zahn, that really propelled this story into a different path. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into exactly what's going on here. So, we know one thing about Disney right now is that they are currently setting up and expanding the Star Wars roadmap that's going to be explored, by the way, this September at the D23 event. We already know that Bob Iger is getting very desperate to fine-tune this roadmap and to right-size the projects and exactly where that's heading. But what's even all the more important about this approach is how Bob Iger is looking at this as the opportunity to turn Star Wars around and to literally course-correct the franchise. So basically, that's what this is all about when it comes to expanding the roadmap and announcing all of these said projects at D23. Now that brings us to the latest and exactly what's going on with John and Dave. Now we know that John and Dave are really in multiple phases of development for many different shows out there, and a lot of which has to do with the notes phase, the storyboarding process, stuff like that. However, right now, Disney is getting prepared to announce new movies and shows at this year's, of course, D23 event in September. That's also going to bring light to many of their big plans for the roadmap. However, one of the major storyboards that are being worked on by John and Dave involve the introduction of Darth Revan into one of the other stories, where John and Dave are already working on the first Old Republic movie that's in the notes and storyboarding process right now, where one of which is set to involve a full-on lightsaber duel between Revan, who in the descriptions is said to be unmasked and designed after Keanu Reeves' face, since they are aimed and fulfilled to actually make a fan cast actually happen in live action for this particular scene that is illustrated and is said to involve Revan training what appears to be another dark side user, or perhaps a Sith apprentice of some kind, inside of an ancient Sith temple with many ancient carvings and designs on stone walls in the background. Now, this brings one to question. Exactly where are they? Could this very well be, a specific planet taken directly from Star Wars Legends? That's very likely. But we also know that FAVREAU and Filoni are serving as co-writers for the planned Old Republic trilogy that's in the works, that they do intend to announce at D23, by the way. Now, what's interesting about this is how they are trying to fulfill Keanu Reeves taking up the role of Revan. We already know that Keanu and his agent have been in the talks with Disney and Lucasfilm for a while now, and they are already up for the role completely, and that's why John and Dave are prematurely basing the illustrations off of basically Keanu Reeves' facial design. So here, Revan is wielding both a blue and red lightsaber blade against the Darksider, who wields a regular crimson blade. The illustration is 100% based on Keanu's face. However, his hair is tied back in this sequence. The duel between the two appear to be similar to a fight inside of the catacombs, where they are both training in close-quarter combat, and is said to be a very intense saber duel that's very much like the prequel trilogy type of saber duels. So basically, expect choreography similar to the prequel trilogy saber designs, or the saber duels, where it's going to be very fast-paced, it's going to have a lot of obstacles in there. And to be honest, guys, I will be real, that's what I love when it comes to saber duels, is how you have two opponents going through obstacles and tight corners and things that they have to get through. And that's why I think the Obi-Wan and Anakin duel is by far one of the best saber duels out there in the Star Wars franchise, without a doubt, hands down, it really is, because they have to go through all these obstacles. The control room, dodging the lava to the lava lake, all these different aspects. So the next thing up of course, separately from all of this, actress Natalie Portman has already been contacted to reprise her role as Padme Amidala for the second season of Star Wars Ahsoka that's going to dive further into flashbacks involving Darth Vader, portrayed by no other than Hayden Christensen again. The plan for Ahsoka Season 2 is to dive more into new secrets related to Padme. One of those storyboards already involves a moment where Vader is set to visit Padme's grave that sparks these flashbacks that will be demonstrated in the show. Now, this is set to take place on the world of Naboo, where Portman and her agent recently held discussions with her reprising the role, and this is aimed to be released sometime by 2025, if scheduling, of course, meets the overall structure of the show. Now, the fans, of course, are going to witness multiple scenes with Padme's return, as, of course, once again, that's going to be sparked by Darth Vader going to Padme Amidala's grave. Now, what's interesting, by the way, about this is that we know that this has been a long time coming. This is something, by the way, that Jon Favreau brought up a couple of times, that he would love to explore the personal side of Darth Vader, and that's what they're going to deliver to some degree in the first season of Ahsoka, but more so in the second season. So, second season of Ahsoka, by the way, the plan is to get this thing out by, give or take, a late 2025. It's still a ways out, I will be honest. We've got a while until we get to see this thing, but gives us enough breathing room, or gives them enough time to develop the correct story to really make this make a lot of sense. Now, look, I think that this fits directly in with why Natalie Portman spoke up a couple weeks ago that she would love to return to Star Wars. I think, without a doubt, it has a lot to do with these conversations that she's been having with John and Dave and her agent signing up for the second season of the Ahsoka series, and how that's going to dive more into new secrets and revelations related to Padme Amidala and Darth Vader. Now again, what I'm excited about for when it comes to the first season of Ahsoka is that we're going to be getting Dave Filoni's take on Darth Vader in the actual show. And he is an actual part of the story, by the way. They did film a couple of scenes of Vader, full-fledged style, where he's in the suit, where he's got the saber ignited. And there's been a lot of reports out there that one of the scenes that were filmed actually involves a retelling or a recreation of Vader going up against Ahsoka in that Sith temple on Malachor. And that's going to basically set things up for Ahsoka's story in the show. So, I think it's great. I think that Dave Filoni has his head on straight to bring back Natalie Portman in the second season of this series, which, by the way, Disney executives want to eventually make this the main flagship show over The Mandalorian. I'm not quite sure if that's the best move, but that's what they want to aim for. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about everything ranging from Revan to Natalie Portman's reprising, of course, of Padme Amidala. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one from night to moon.